Hey, rule 9, always, 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 if at all possible, stay with your buyer. You want to reduce, if at all possible, eliminate the number of times you leave your buyer alone or leave and go check with somebody else, okay? Look, it's important that you continue to create and leverage credibility and believability with your customer. The reality is there's entire industries that believe in trust and relationships, but that are built around leaving the customer and going check with someone else. Each time you leave a customer to check on some other item or something else, you're leaving him or her with someone else themselves, right? You're not there to control the situation, the thought process, what's going on. This creates doubt and uncertainty in the mind of the buyer and also stops any chance of selling anything. For instance, the automobile industry has been notorious for leaving their customers over years. Hey, I got to go check with the manager, I got to check, see if I can get that approved. The reality of that situation, good, bad, whether that's what you do or don't do, the reality is if you look at it, you lose credibility with your customer when you leave because I realize, hey, I'm not talking to the decision maker. I'm talking to Grant. Grant can't make a decision. He's got to talk to his manager. I leave the customer. They leave me. It's like, I do this 5 or 6 times and it takes 6 hours to do the transaction. Look, this is the greatest single pet peeve of car buyers. It's not how much they paid. It's not they wanted a black one and got a red one. That's not it. It's like the back and forth creates undue antagonism. And it will do the same thing in your negotiations. It lowers perceived value, it reduces customer experience, makes it poor, and extends the amount of time necessary to close the deal. Leaving your prospect could be replaced, like if you needed to check with somebody else, why don't you stay with them and make a phone call? Hey man, give me 1 second to text this over and see if I can get it approved. Why don't you do that? That'd be better than leaving. Why don't you just Skype your manager if you actually need to talk to a third party? Maybe you're a real estate agent and you need to talk to why don't you Skype? Get the guy on a Skype video, your video link over. I'm giving you some ideas, okay? Some things that you could do to keep you in front of the money, the buyer, and still get the data you need, okay? Maybe if there's a third party involved. Look, I had a customer. I stayed with a customer so long, okay? As a credible source, as I was the decision maker. I was operating as though I was, even though I wasn't. The customer actually asked me, hey, why don't you check with one of your superiors and see if they can do anything else? I'm like, sure, man, I'll do that. First rule of selling, agree. Sure, I'll go check with them. How long would you like me to be gone? Okay, and I'm smiling like this, right? Because I'm ready for it, I'm prepared. Great, sir, how long would you like me to be gone? He's like, what does it matter? I said, you want me to be gone 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes? How long? He's like, man, well, what does it matter? It don't matter. I'm coming back with this anyway. This is going to be the proposal. This is what they're going to approve. This is a great deal. Let's do it. And the guy closed. He was using the superior or manager to get me out of his space, right? Because he wanted to say yes to me, and he also wanted to say no to me. And he knew if I stayed there, he'd say yes. He's trying to get me out of the close. Okay, note, this does not mean that there's not an appropriate time to leave a customer. There is. It's called an authority close. Okay, it can be very, very powerful as long as it's not overused. And some businesses have just basically overused it. Do what you can to give yourself maximum credibility. I think you agree with that, okay? Staying in the close with the money gives you maximum credibility. Remember, the customer has the money, okay? Anywhere you go, okay? I don't care if you agree or disagree with me on this whole segment. The reality is the customer has the money. When you leave the customer, you're leaving the money, and that's when you lose your credibility. Learn how to stay with your customer.